I headbutted the window of the Indian restaurant. When I came round, the blood was like a fountain. I was so concussed I couldn't speak. I got put in a wheelchair, taken to hospital. I swear to God. Most people are like 12, 13, you know, I come from a council estate, but I discovered books and I started reading, and before I knew it, I was at Oxford. None of that shit happened to me. I stayed a low-key Jester Bellend until I was about 19. But where we lived, 3 doors that way, amphetamine, crack, coke.
Yeah.
That way, trips, weed. I mean, literally every drug you wanted was within like 10 doors. You cannot underestimate the power of a strong father figure in someone's childhood. This is the advantage of having a Ray Winstone for a dad, which I basically had. I would not fuck with him.
Today's guest is the unstoppable Russell Kane. He's a writer, presenter, and quite simply one of the best comedians in the country. He won Best Show at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. He's a TV regular, is always going viral with his social media rants, and he hosts the Evil Genius podcast. He's sharp, high energy, and has had an extraordinary journey to where he is now. You're going to love this. Let's get into it. It's the fantastic Russell Kane. So let's start off with just a quick fire round on your childhood. This is a producer's idea, obviously. This is not mine. But let's go.
What you touched? Question 1.
Pogs or Panini stickers?
Well, I was sort of carried along by the football sticker thing, but I wasn't really into football stickers. But of the two, it would have been Paninis.
Okay. Did you have a team? Do you have a team?
No, I collected the World Cup ones, which would have been England. Even though my 23andme.com suggests I have no right to collect the England stickers, being only 48% British.
Right. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've got Brexit DNA. I'm 52% Europe, 48% English, but in the other direction.
Right. All right. Oasis or Blur?
Well, obviously neither, because I can't dance in a field to them because I like techno and dance music.
Is there a techno equivalent?
I suppose it would be like Prodigy or something, or like they would be the equivalent.
Prodigy or something.
No, I think Prodigy are pretty closer to Oasis. I was never into Blur. They seemed a bit like posh and middle class to me. So although I'm not massively connected with the music, I sort of like the anger and the attitude of Oasis.
Yes. Yeah. Right. So, favourite Spice Girl?
That would have been posh.
All right.
Definitely.
Playing out or playing computer games?
Both, really.
Yeah.
Both. But I did get heavily, once I got a Commodore 64 and I got it second hand with about 100 games, that was my outdoor life over. But I didn't stay in on my own. It was always like mates playing a game together because we like to point and click adventures. We have to solve the clues like the Indiana Jones Lucasfilm games. So that's really easy to play as a 3 because you're like, we have to search everything in this room. Click the lamp. Oh my God, there's a clue under the lamp. And we'd be like, having nerdgasms over it.
All right, nice. Weed or booze? Growing up?
Weed.
Weed.
Definitely. But booze is, alcohol is one of the most destructive poisons on the planet, man. It will change. That cocaine, crack and heroin are just sent from the devil if he exists.
So you're not a big drinker?
I do. I will have one beer after a gig, one solitary beer, and I have been known to go out and smash neat vodka. I'm not saying I haven't done some things which are questionable, and drinking alcohol is one of them. But I've seen alcohol change people and destroy lives. I've never seen weed destroy a life unless it's someone under 18. And if you do anything under 18 when your brain's growing, it's going to mess you up, including video games and porn.
Yeah. Super skunk, not...
Exactly, that's not weed anyway. It's a different species and it should be Class A.
Okay, right. Were you behind the bike shed smoking or in the library reading?
I didn't smoke. I was scared of cigarettes. I've never smoked.
Sensible.
And I left school with my kiss virginity intact. I didn't even kiss a girl before the age of 16 and a half. I did, the first summer out of school, I did manage to get my first snog. So I was doing nothing behind the bike sheds. I neither smoked nor had female interest. What I did do was play Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
And once I had that 20-sided dice, I was working my way through some elf pussy. Like Nobody's business. The dungeon master was like, roll a 20-sided dice. Your charisma means you have sex with the elven goddess. We'd be like, oh God.
Was it like, I never got Dungeons and Dragons. Is it a board game?
You have like a...
I think I watched the cartoon, didn't
I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd have someone would be the games master or dungeon master. It works better if there's 3 or 4 of you. One would be like the fighter, one would be a magician, one would be a healer or a cleric. And you just walk into a room, and it's great for comedians because you're like, right, you're in a bar, you're using your imagination. There's a mysterious looking man at the bar. What do you want to do? And you'd be like, right, I want to go and talk to him. Right, roll a 20-sided dice. I want to see if you've got enough charisma to make this person talk to you. And if you get it wrong, you get punched and you damage your diet. But then someone with more charming might try their luck. And it's a role-playing, spoken adventure. But you use maps to help you with when you're exploring dungeons or castles.
Fun. I missed
it's brilliant.
That one.
It's brilliant.
Do you do?
I still play.
Thing?
Still play.
I was just about to ask you that.
Yes, I played 3 times this year.
That seems to be very much a generation, a thing of our generation, of kind of began this thing of carrying on doing things that we did as children.
It's just
which
good.
I don't think our parents were doing.
Well, how many things can you do that have fun where you're sober and it's not screen based? There's hardly anything left.
I don't know any.
And it's not screen, and it's connecting, and I've got like my nerdy friends, I've got my comedian friends, I've got my clubbing friends because I still love dancing and going out. But yeah, the only problem with Dungeons and Dragons, like everything in a comedian's life, is I can't commit to anything regular. So we had this amazing, and you play for 12 hours. We had this brilliant adventure. All right, what day can you do next, Russell? Everyone's putting their availability on the group, and it's like,
yes.
Monday, how about Monday night in 3 months' time? And everyone's got normal jobs, and you just let everyone down all the time.
I thought you were going to say the problem with being a comedian was that you then were turning it into an idea where you then had to do a show.
But I did.
Well,
so I was playing a bard. A bard is a character. You can still use a dagger and fight, but you can use your guitar. So if someone's about to attack you, you can tell a poem and confuse them, and everyone runs away. That's like your magical ability.
Okay.
And we ended up trying to break into this dungeon, and we're there with these Hell Knights who are really scary, like evil guardians. And I did a corporate for them in the game and got some gold pieces. I did a corporate gig.
Your dreams have come true.
That happened. That's great. I love it. It's innocent. Yeah, it's a bit childish. But why do we lose things that are childlike when we get adult? Why? Being a comedian, you are being a child. You're playing. And I play. I like play. What's wrong with that?
Yes. Well, comedians are very lucky. I think we get to kind of keep a lot more of that in us than most people.
Yeah. Not too much though, Greg Wallace. No. Take your knob out the tiramisu, for God's sake.
Right, so class clowns, cool class clown.
Yeah.
Were you a class clown?
Yes. That's how people would remember me from school. I wasn't the toughest. I wasn't the best looking. I wasn't the cleverest. I definitely wasn't the most popular. I would say I was about 1.5 leagues above the ones that smelt of wee and got beat up. And the only reason I wasn't in the wee smelling no friends corner was because of my humour. So that protected me from the bullies. Don't get me wrong, I still got beat up a bit. But it protected me from being what I would call bullied. I just got normal punches and things from my sort of my culture.
Is this secondary school?
Secondary school
specifically.
Yeah.
And were you naughty in primary school?
I wasn't naughty at all. I was never naughty.
Were you a class?
My daughter is, so I obviously don't remember being very little, although my memories start early. But apparently my daughter's a carbon copy of me. So if that's what I was like, then yeah. But I was always cracking jokes, always funny, always doing impressions, things like that. I didn't know I was doing my 10,000 hours. I didn't know what I was practicing. I just thought, well, that's me. I'm just someone who pisses around. I'm the funny one in the group. I didn't overthink it anything more than that.
Right. And that never led to you being in trouble. Because normally that I think that answer would be attached to and I got detentions or even kicked out.
This is the advantage of having a Ray Winstone for a dad, which I basically had. I would not fuck with him. I mean, I did once when I was 9. Me and my friend Mark, we were library monitors, and the stock cupboard was left open, and we got varnish out, and we varnished some tables in the floor. And I mean, I was literally nearly physically shitting myself at the thought of my dad finding out. So when you got a really strict dad, you just don't fuck about. Okay. You just don't. I was always funny, and I was always what it did cost me was any sort of meaningful academic achievement. no focus. I would do I'd be interested in making people laugh. Couldn't be asked to revise. And I'm a bright person. I did absolutely nothing with it till I was about 19 years old.
Okay.
So that I could have had GCSEs. There was talk of me sitting a special exam to go to the special school for overachievers. It's called Latimer. And I decided not to do it 'cause my mum decided against it, and I couldn't be asked, to be honest.
Okay. Well, it's put you in good stead anyway. You seem to have made the right choices.
We will go into it in a bit, I found the groove of learning. And I mean, literally last bus out. 19 is the last bus out. Most people are 12, 13. I come from a council estate, but I discovered books and I started reading. And before I knew it, I was at Oxford. None of that shit happened to me. I stayed a low-key Jester Bellend until I was about 19. All I was interested in was dancing, raving, making people laugh. That's it.
Is that what you mean by Bellend? In all seriousness, you said Bellend, but what do you mean?
I didn't take myself seriously in any respect. I just wanted to crack jokes and be silly and mess around.
Is harsh.
Yeah.
Well, harsh on yourself. You're a young person.
I suppose so.
Having a good time,
I suppose if in my group of friends, it was like, Russell being a Bellend again. And we went to, I've got a very, very high metabolism and I'm an extremely energetic person. So things like this,
we know.
I'm constantly concentrating to come across normal, to sit still, because I'm like that really. It's what I'm like inside. So that my metabolism is stupidly high, I eat thousands of calories. And so we went, this is just one example.
So do I.
Yeah. This is just one example.
Metabolism, not quite doing it for me.
We went to an all-you-can-eat Indian buffet. I think I was 16, and I had to show off. I had to be a Bellend about it. So I ate 3 chicken tikka masalas, 3 rice, 3 breads, and then I ate some flowers off the table, showing off, being a Bellend. And that's the last thing I remember. I started to feel sick, and I went outside the restaurant, and apparently I walked like a chicken. I was passed out basically, but my body tried to stay conscious. My friend,
what are you talking about?
I'm talking about any situation I would be a Bellend in. I walked around in a circle, and as I passed out, I headbutted the window of the Indian restaurant. When I came round, the blood was like a fountain. I was so concussed I couldn't speak. All from eating. So I ate so much that I basically hyperventilated. I got put in a wheelchair, taken to hospital, I swear to God, in a neck brace. Right? I had to have my head stitched up, all from showing off. All from showing. My dad.
Hang on, you had passed out and you were still walking.
No, I went. Have you ever seen someone pass out? They don't just go like that. They do a. So my friends just thought I was doing a comedy chicken walk.
Yes.
And I headbutted the window, and I came round, and I was trying to say to my friends, if my mobile rings, do not answer it, because this isn't, even though it looks bad, I knew I just need a couple of stitches. I can get home and explain it to my mum and dad. Phone rang, and my fucking mate Amanda went, now don't panic, Julie. We're at the hospital. My dad is fucking like a 17-stone steroid injecting gorilla.
Yeah.
Straight down the fucking hospital, and I'm in a chair covered in claret. Waiting to be seen, concussed. And my dad was going, you got to tell us what fucking gear you're on, boy. I'll fucking kill the dealer. I'll kill the cunt. What are you on? And I was going, masala. See that? Can you see it?
No.
4 stitches, just there.
I
have a look at it after.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Sorry, does it go down?
Yeah.
Yes, I can see it.
That's what I mean by Bellend. Any situation, I would take the joke too far.
Yeah.
To whatever was the funniest, whatever was the centre of attention, and sometimes would get hurt. But I would only ever hurt myself.
Were you trying to mimic someone? Where's the attention? What do you know? Do you remember why you were looking for attention? Because it's very young. It's quite a young age to be trying to get the attention at every point.
When you've got a Neanderthal dad that's emotionally unavailable, it probably hones that aspect of your personality. But I've recently, because I work on another business, it's all in science. I'm working with scientists, and but I think we are basically 60% nature nurture. So 60% nurture, but 40% is genetic. That's the latest estimate. I think I'm just born that way. My daughter has had the perfect childhood. I'm the most emotionally available man going.
Yeah.
She's the same as me. And the centre of attention, if we're in a queue for a buffet, she's doing a dance, so everyone in the restaurant looks at her. Yeah. She was born that way. At 5 months old, she was like, the other babies were being normal. She's like, trying to get attention with her rattle or whatever.
Because a lot of the time, there's a habit to relate kind of attention seeking to almost some sort of trauma.
Maybe.
A lot of the time.
That's what I used to think.
But what I was saying is that you're saying, well, that's not the case in my daughters.
Yeah, but if I had not had a child, I would have said it's because my dad was like a gorilla and I would do anything to get his attention, and he was so serious it made me funny in reaction. That's what I always believed until my daughter came out as a clone of me, but a female. She looks like me, she behaves like I did. My mum's like it's fucking eerie, it's history repeating itself. And my daughter's living a privileged life, posh life and all that. I grew up on a council estate with a rough-ass, probably depressed dad, but we've got identical personalities.
What was you've mentioned your dad and what your dad was like. What was your mum like in comparison?
My mum's closer to what I'm like. Good verbal fluency, even though bless her, she obviously left school at 14 or whatever, so she's not read books, she's not topped her vocabulary up. But the way she uses language and the energy she's got, and she's like a stick with hair on who eats like doorstep sandwiches. And I look like my mum. My dad's like 6 foot tall, blonde hair, blonde curly hair, blue eyes, bit Jewish looking because there's some Jewish heritage. And I'm like my mum, sort of Romany gypsy looking, dark, thin, like a meerkat on amphetamine. So I'm more like her.
Okay.
And she's got great use of language, very dramatic. So my auntie Elaine dropped a mobile in the river the other week on a walk. She went, I looked around, and Elaine's phone slipped into the black abyss. And that's just a normal sentence. Everything's like that. When she was tired, if she's tired and they're going out for a curry, I'm going to drag my crippled body to the Indian. That's my mum's way of saying, I'm tired, I'm going out for a curry. So everything's dramatic, and then of course that's great for a stand-up.
Yes,
everything we say. You only got to look at one of your routines. Is the more dramatic language you've got to describe the everyday, the better your routine is. If you think of that McDonald's routine you've got, it's fucking superb.
Oh, bless you. So go on then. Draw us a picture of the area then that you grew up in.
So EN3. So my dad's from Essex, Leigh-on-Sea, Barking, Southend that way, and my mum is from a place called Enfield, which is supposed to be London, but it doesn't have a London postcode. Some people call it Middlesex, some people call it Essex. Brian Sewell, I don't know if you remember him, the art critic.
I don't.
He called it a brown place, better not observed. It is just one of those anonymous postcodes, EN3, that is neither fish nor fowl. It's not close enough to London to have the culture, even though rough, and it's not far enough from London, like Southend, to have its own heartbeat. It's just a splodge. Half of it's council scum, the half I grew up, and the other half is sort of quite nice houses, good commuter belt. Hal Cruttenden lives on the nice side. Now
he lives there now.
It's nice. Enfield Chase and all that's lovely. You can imagine what property prices are like. It was the stab capital at one point of all the London boroughs. Literally number one. Not Brixton, not Streatham, Enfield. I never got involved in anything like that because the gob protects us. The class clown, you are protected from violence. You have like a verbal armour almost. You can talk your way out of anything.
That's what you were doing. And were you doing that consciously? I'm always interested in, when you're younger, how much of it is, are you reflecting on when you're older and looking back and going, the reason I was doing that was actually because...
Not consciously, no.
Right.
I just knew I don't want to be punched, and how can I get out of this? So it's a great way of honing that skill.
Did you feel in danger of being punched?
Very rarely. I've got no. There's a few times where me and my friends would get, like we went to Laser Quest, and we all may have had one or two sherries, which were condensed on one tiny square of paper, and we were just laughing. But this gang that were there must have thought we were laughing at them. We hadn't even seen them, and we got chased all the way along the canal, all the way back to Brimstone. It's fucking terrifying, really scary. I don't know what they had in mind. We were soft. We were the weed smoking pacifists under the bridge. I stayed right away from trouble. But yeah, so Enfield at the time, I don't want to paint a picture of it as rough because I never felt it was rough. When my mum got up the duff, we were actually homeless. So my mum, to get housed, my mum made herself homeless. So we were in a mother and baby. It sounds really bleak. Obviously, I don't remember it. I was a baby. It's a mother and baby shelter. So she was in a dorm with 7 other women. And then my dad would visit at night from work. And I think my mum thought, a couple of weeks we'll have a house. She was in there 8 months with me. So we were in a domestic violence shelter for 8 months, even though no one's ever laid a finger on my mum.
Yeah.
And then we did get housed in a council flat in Enfield, which we were in for 5 years, and I remember the flat. And then finally we got a council house when I was 5, which, I mean, I got no memories of feeling poor. I thought we'd won the lottery or something. My dad was skipping around like we were rich, like something from a Roald Dahl novel. And not only that, it was end of terrace council house. And what that means is, once you saved up to buy your own council house, if it's end of terrace, my dad's a builder. Fucking bang! We extended it. We put a swimming pool.
Like Beverly Hills.
Yeah, it was. My dad hired a digger, and we were going to put a swimming pool in the back garden. He only got 3 foot down, so we had a swimming pool that was 3 foot sunk and 3 foot above the water. But it was 21 foot long, 5 foot deep. We swam all summer. We had a garage. We had an upstairs bathroom, which sounds like nothing now, but it was extremely rare to have a toilet upstairs and a bathroom in my area. So and we were hated by the neighbours because most people didn't buy their own council house, and our house was called the Castle. We got vandalised a few times. Someone stole our gates, and we were hated for not being true council. Do you know what I mean? For being private owners.
How aware of that were you then?
Extremely, because that's all my mum and dad talked about. We found it hilarious. Me and my brother would make comedy songs about it. So we used to do fake Top of the Pops recordings, me and my brother, and we would do
on a karaoke machine.
It was like a tape recorder.
Yeah, the tape
press play and record, and we would just sing it. We just did the charts. In at number 5, and number 5 was white-haired bitch, because we didn't even know her name. My dad called her white-haired fucking cunt down the road. She's the one that grassed us up for building a conservatory without planning permission. So me and my brother turned that into a song. We grassed on conservatory, and we would do all the little songs. So I was aware to the point we were doing musical satire, I suppose it was. Next door neighbour, Dole, she fucking hated us, and she's the one that'd swing off the gate with the fag going, those cunts, they think they're better than everyone else. And
that's interesting to me that already in the place that you grew up, that there is an element of we are different, even if it's been imposed on you by other people. There is this.
But that's what Margaret Thatcher did. She created a new class. Margaret Thatcher created, and we're still paying the price. I benefited from it, right? But I know all lefties would like that I'm not sat here, that I don't exist. Lefties would like it that I'm a junkie that never amounted to anything. And I'm a lefty because selling off council house is obviously a bad thing.
Yes.
I made a series for it about Radio 4 because my politics don't align with my journey. I benefited from that. And Margaret Thatcher created upper working class people. They're the people that vote reform. They're the people, working class people with aspirations to be richer working class people.
Yeah.
That was my class. Then there was true working class underneath it. And then there was, the chavvy scumbags at the bottom. And I sort of bounce between those 3 layers for a long time.
Hello, if you're enjoying this episode, you are going to love our Patreon. We're giving you early ad-free access to episodes, psychological analysis of all of our Series 1 episodes, and once a month, the Patreons can fire their questions at me, if you want, and I will share the stories of my childhood shenanigans with you. If you so please. If you don't worry about it. That's all the Patreon exclusive stuff, so check it out. Now, right, back to the interview. You mentioned your dad with the blonde hair and the blue eyes.
Yeah.
And had a slightly Jewish look. Yeah. What is the heritage?
His granddad was Jewish. So my dad's granddad was Jewish.
And what about your mum?
It's just a complete. So my mum was an alcoholic nutter. I found her funny, my nan, my Joyce. So it doesn't get confusing, let's call her Nana Joyce. I didn't call her that, I just called her Nan. So Nana Joyce, my mum's mum, had her when she was 15, I think. She went through 6 husbands, fucking totally wild, extreme human being, who I ended up obviously moving in with because I thought she was fucking hilarious. We'll come on to that in a bit. Yeah. So my mum obviously wasn't raised by Joyce. My mum was raised by Joyce's mum, her great-grandma. Look, my Joyce fucking baby fell out at 15 and she fucked off. So my mum was raised by her nan, my great-grandma Connie.
Yeah.
Now that great-grandma Connie, who's more like what you would expect, a sort of cauliflower-haired, story-reading, buggy-pushing, stable figure, she has no idea where she came from. So my family tree ends in living memory.
Wow.
So I would love to go on Who Do You Think You Are? Because I've spent money, I've spent so many resources trying to work out where I'm from. All I know is my great-grandma, who I called Grandma, Connie, because she basically acted like a grandma and a mum to my mum, she swore that she was the product of an affair between a servant and Spanish nobility, and that she was fostered into a home to cover up the scandal from this posh Spanish nobility. Well, of course, my blood tells a different story. I have no Spanish blood. So we know that's a lie. We know that's false.
You've got a kind of European look.
Yeah, but
you've got a kind of Spanish thing.
Indeed. So, but she said,
I can see you playing for Spain. I can see you got the hair. You look like you might play for Spain.
Connie, got to remember, because everyone spits out babies so young when you're a chav. My great nan. I was 19 when my great nan died, so I knew my great grandma extremely well. And she said I was born to a German servant called Minna Bush, but all my birth certificates and records were destroyed. Once she passed, because I didn't want to do it while she was alive. It was bullshit. My birth certificate was not destroyed. It was lying there waiting to be read. And indeed, she was born to a German servant. That bit was true. So
she was lying to you, Russell. Was she lying to you, or she didn't know?
She'd been lied to, probably. Or it's the shame of being illegitimate.
Sure, exactly. Yeah, understood.
And it's German Bavarian on my mum's side, and they're quite dark. They can come out quite sort of Moorishly dark. So it's Bavarian German and various Northern European genes all mixed up, but no Italian and no Spanish.
Because those are the two you'd go for.
Right, none. And so I've put some pieces together. I think I've identified, because Minna Bush, as it was spelled, Busch, an extremely rare name. So I think I've found the candidate who would have been the right age to have given birth to my great-grandma. And I've got circumstantial ideas about what happened, but I'd love a professional to solve that. Because there's so many people, my aunties and uncles, would love to know where we come from.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry I can't help with
that.
No,
exactly.
Today.
Jeremy Kyle style.
Yeah, the wall just pulls back. There they all are. Well, listen, I'll get this out now. Aristotle, you'll know the quote. Aristotle says, give me a child until the age of 7 and I will show you the foundations of the man. So we see Russell at 7 years of age. Are we going to have a sense of what you go on to accomplish in your life and career?
And yes, but if you'd have asked me when I was 27, I would have said no, because the 7-year-old me wanted to be in the school plays, tell jokes, impress the girls and be silly. Well, that's basically, although I'm married now, it's still what I am. But there was I never realised you could do it for a job. So if you'd have asked me at 27, I would have gone, well, I'm working in an office, so that was a load of shit.
You weren't doing comedy at 27?
No.
I had no idea. So you started for a comedian. You started very late.
Because you hear people of colour use this sentence, and lots of people think, shut up, whinging. But this really resonates with me. If you can't see it, you can't be it. So no one ever showed me. When you're listen, I had a great childhood. There's no violins here. I had food on the table, school uniform fitted. We were well off, right? I'm not getting a violin out. But my daughter is having a yo sushi childhood. Violin goes past. I'll try that. Acting. I'll try that. Yeah. Fencing. Horse riding. Try. Hit 18. You know what you like. There is no yo sushi thing. My mum was a cleaner. My dad's a lagger and a builder, putting insulation on pipes. So I didn't try anything. I wasn't exposed to much. I did do a few drama classes and things like that because it was natural in my personality. But I don't know what stand-up comedy was. I never fucking heard of it. My dad would watch Jim Davison, Jimmy Jones, Bernard Manning, Laurel and Hardy, Charlie Chaplin. That's what I thought comedy was. That's all I knew.
Well, that's good. I mean,
Laurel and Hardy.
You got Laurel and Hardy and
right.
Chaplin.
But of course, I get into the rave scene and fucking lefty. My friends are fucking trans, black, gay, and fucking dancing at the dance floor till 6 a.m. I didn't identify with some angry northern person hating everyone.
So you weren't enjoying that with your dad?
No.
That's on the telly.
When I was little, I probably laughed at Jim Davis.
But you don't remember that?
No.
And you don't? And
Laurel and Hardy, yes. Yes, I remember. I still find Laurel and Hardy funny.
Yes,
but that didn't relate to anything I was going to do. So live.
Was it a family? So it wasn't a kind of shared family experience where you all sat down.
Three Stooges, yes. Well, I would watch that with my dad. Three Stooges, Laurel and Hardy. I would watch with my dad. A little bit of Charlie Chaplin,
and all laughing
Abbott
together as a family.
Yes. Right. But that's not Man with a Microphone telling stories. Man with a Microphone telling stories was, Ronnie Barker, and I didn't relate to any of that. And what people have to remember is I think people don't realise how late Live at the Apollo came on TV. You're talking 2003, 3 or something. It's quite recent.
Possibly
possibly after.
Later,
so
maybe.
So alternative comedy.
Wish I knew that.
Alternative comedy wasn't unless your dad bought an Eddie Murphy tape or a Robin Williams tape, and my dad didn't. You had no contact with alternative comedy at all. None.
You kind of had no contact with the stand-up comedian, certainly the stand-up comedian as we know it today.
Zero.
Yeah.
So I end up doing something poncy at uni, like literature and all that, and I went to the one uni in the land that didn't have a stand-up night, it turns out. I didn't realise that was unusual, but it turns out it was.
Yeah.
So I get all the way to this office job without ever having, and I mean once, ever watched live comedy in my entire life. Why would I go? It bores me shitless.
Yeah.
And I probably had seen an Eddie Murphy clip, or I'd probably seen a friend watching an Eddie Izzard tape in the background, probably.
Yes.
Because someone will message and say, we did once, but I've got no memory of it. It wasn't a thing I'd ever done.
Yeah.
So just by sheer accident, I'd fucking missed the thing I was born to do.
Yes.
I'd missed it.
But you did say that, Aristotle would have seen that you wanted to be a performer.
Aristotle would have spotted it.
Yeah.
There was a delay. It was late into when I was nearly 30.
But at a young age, there was a desire to act.
School play, always got the lead in primary school.
You always got the lead?
In primary school.
Look at you.
I wanted to do drama.
What were the plays? Do you remember?
Ernie's Incredible Hallucinations, which was about a kid.
Can see it now.
It was a TV series as well about a kid that every hallucination he had came true. It's like a superpower. So I played Ernie in that. Once I got to secondary school, of course, I ditched all of that survival in it. You don't want to be in.
Why? What happens?
You don't want to be in a drama club in a council estate comprehensive. Are you joking? That makes you homosexual or punched. They're your options. Gay or beaten.
But look, looking back, you state that. How much of that was a reality, and how much was that a fear? What would have
it was a complete visceral desire to be popular and try and get near a girl.
For you
completely from the age of 12. How can I be more popular? How can I get girls to like me?
Drama wasn't the way to do that at 12.
Neither was high grades. Neither was reading.
Yeah.
Neither was liking chess.
Yeah.
So you push all of that down. You become funny, ironic. You do quite well at school, but you don't do too well at school. I was invisible. Between 11 and 16, complete waste of my fucking time.
And what did you look like? That's a strange question, but what did you look? What did people dress like in Enfield? What are the photos of Russell look like? Is it? Are you in Nike? Are you in Reebok?
Whatever the
you're in tracksuits.
What the fashion is now, oversized skater shorts. Basically it's in fashion now. The look that I had when I was at secondary school, but
you were a chav.
I was a chav, but I followed. My mum had a Freeman's catalogue, so whatever was trending, I had the clothes out of that. Okay. So she just bought whatever everyone else was wearing. I didn't buy my own clothes. But
were you a chav in your head? Did you
No.
Did you identify, as it were, as a chav?
I had no concept that people could be better off than I was.
Yeah.
None.
Right.
I thought we were rich. We had a swimming pool. I had no material concerns. None. I grew up feeling rich. And I grew up with a happy. Although my dad was a complicated man, my childhood was 99% happy.
Yeah. So school wasn't a kind of hodgepodge of different cultures and classes. It seems that people were from the kind of same.
Yeah, there was a couple of slightly more well-spoken kids, and then some of my friends, obviously tower block, serious, parents with addiction and things like that. But we're all roughly in the middle. Looks-wise, I suffered because I'm born late August, and you don't want to be born late August if you're a boy. It's no coincidence that so many comedians are either youngest siblings or born in July and August. Because if you're born in August, you're fucking tiny.
Oh, right.
You're the youngest, the weakest.
I've never heard this theory. It's great.
Well, yeah. Do you like football?
I love my team.
Right.
Love my team.
When you've done this, go online afterwards and look at all the British footballers you like and look when their birthdays are. Almost all September and October. They're the biggest and strongest. If you line 26-year-olds up for football, if you line 26-year-olds up, well, it's true.
No, I know. I'm not. I love that you have this information at hand. That's what.
But if you line up 26-year-olds, I can tell you he's the youngest in the year and he's the oldest because a 7-year-old. Have you seen the difference between a 7 and a 6-year-old? This fucking
Not yet.
It's like that. Okay. So if you're put to sport.
Yeah.
you're going to be shit. So you never get the passion for sport. But you learn to be funny because you're not the strongest. So a lot of comedians...
Well, I'll tell you an observation I have observed, is a lot of comedians are short.
Yeah.
So that falls in line with your theory. Like, it doesn't not necessarily I don't know their birthdays.
Yeah.
But that would relate to what you're saying. Most, I mean, nearly all, Russell, like big comedians are ironically small
or comically tall.
But
you so if you check the stats, let's get a nerd on it.
Smoked more.
Get ChatGPT on it, and you will see. I'm almost convinced that the percentage of comedians that are either youngest siblings or born in August will be way disproportionately high. So you've had, the other issue I had was, yes, not tall, girls didn't like me. I had verbal fluency, so people just assume you're gay, and they still assume I'm gay because I know how to talk about my feelings, which is still not cool. And unfortunately, I've had 8 teeth out my head. I had the worst. I mean, they were almost vertical.
Really?
Really bad. I've got massive teeth. Look at the size of them, like Donkey from Shrek. So I had to have a brace to that took till 15 to push everything back.
Oh, that's at secondary school?
Yeah.
What did that, how was that okay?
No, it was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. I wasn't bullied for it because so many people had braces, but you're not going to get any punani, are you? So I quickly learned I'm computers, Dungeons and Dragons, and wanking.
Okay, yeah. Now, you know when you try to break a habit and you think it's going to take loads of effort, money, and some complicated system, I always assumed it had to be hard. Turns out it doesn't. If you're ready to quit vaping, and you should be, it's a filthy habit. I stopped it. It was horrendous. The first step doesn't need to be hard or expensive. You just need the right tool to start. And that's exactly what Fume Zero gives you. Fume Zero provides the hand-to-mouth satisfaction and sensory feedback your old habit did without the guilt or, quite crucially, the chemicals. This episode is sponsored by Fume Zero. That's Fume, pronounced Fume, spelled F-U-M. It's their brand new grab-and-go flavoured air device, and that's why I think it's brilliant. It's completely clean, zero nicotine. That's why I'm allowing it to sponsor our podcast. Zero vapor, zero batteries, just natural plant-based flavoured air. And it's affordable too, starting at only $24.99. It's got a sleek look and feel, modern and very satisfying to hold. You can even adjust the airflow, which is nice. Tailors the experience exactly how you want it. The flavours are incredible, good flavours. Let me just open one now. I've got some here. I'm going for white cranberry. Oh, that's nice. I actually like that. Oh, I might wear that. Do they do perfume? So if you want to make a simple change, and you should, vaping is bad for you, start here. Take zero chances with Fume Zero today, available for $24.99. Hit the link in the episode description or head to tryfume.com. That's tryfum.com to start with zero. I thoroughly recommend. Get off the vape. Right, so and you said you weren't hugely excelling academically, but you were kind of in the middle. So what sets are you in?
I was like, we had 6 sets in like English. So we had 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, and I was always like 1B or 2A in every subject. And I just thought that's my natural intelligence level. But looking back now, I think I was chasing wherever the popular vote was. So I knew to survive, I needed to be not too clever, and I needed to be funny.
Do you know what I find fascinating about, well, one of the things I find fascinating talking to you just like today, and obviously we've known each other for years. We're not spent too much time together, but I'm a huge fan. It's almost irrelevant, but I am a huge fan of your stand-up. You're an incredible stand-up comedian. But that's by the by. You keep referring to this thing of survival and what it is
in school. In school, not out of school. I was fine out of school. I mean, I was living in. I had no idea the stats for my postcode until I moved out. I was like, fucking hell. But where we lived, we had a nice house. 3 doors that way, amphetamine, crack, coke. Yeah. That way, trips, weed. I mean, literally every drug you wanted was within like 10 doors.
Right. Let me just get that postcode.
But you cannot underestimate the power of a strong father figure in someone's childhood. It is one of the most it's one of the strongest statistical indicators. Give that to Aristotle. Show me the strength of a relationship with a child with its father figure at 7, and I will give you its socio-economic likely outcomes. And it's not true for everyone, but it's fucking true a lot of the time. And if you don't have someone telling you, if you're a twat, I'll fucking kill you, you're going to be a twat.
Well, there's quite... Because you've kind of almost... I hope you don't mind me saying, but you've been talking about your father in a slightly negative light since we've been talking.
Emotionally,
and then here you've kind of spun that on its head.
Well, it was negative for him more than me.
Extremely grateful.
Yeah, it's negative for him more than me.
How do you mean?
Well, he was a depressed, angry, sad man. What waste of a fucking life. Couldn't see wealth. He thought wealth was Rolex, posh car, living in a nice part of Essex. But wealth was 2 healthy sons, a home you own, a wife that loves you, holiday a year, great Christmases. Couldn't see any of that. All he could see was, I'm a failure. I'm just a wank. These are his words. I'm just a wanker builder. That's all I am. So, and it was, it's tough. He was a catastrophist as well. So if we got into a traffic, that's the holiday fucked. We probably won't make the flight. The meal will be shit. The holiday, everything was negative. But it's made me relentlessly positive. But so far as discipline goes, I did not put one fucking foot out of line. He never, ever even picked me up and moved me. He never laid a single finger on me my whole childhood. Never needed to. In fact, I used to have a routine about he used to say to me, I never fucking hit you, boy, did I? It was when I was 18. I never hit you. I'm Father of the Year. And once, when he was pissed, when I was about 21, I said, why didn't you hit me? Thinking he was going to say, because I fucking love you, my son. And do you know what he said? It's because if I'd started, I wouldn't have fucking stopped. Fear of murder. But honestly, just his feet coming up the stairs, if I'd done something naughty, I pissed myself once, just at the sound of his feet. I'd hurt my brother bad. I'd thrown him off the bed and hurt him. I was out of order. I was probably about 12.
So younger brother.
Yeah, my younger brother. I'd thrown my brother off the bed. Yeah. Like hiding a bit of bullying in a game, as brothers do.
Sure.
And I heard the feet on the stairs, and I literally urinated myself. This is a man who'd never shouted at me, and never... Because I would not cross him. He went to his grave without me challenging him or answering him back once.
Yeah.
So that's the negative, authoritarian, blah, blah, blah. But the positive was, in an ocean of knives and drugs, nothing happened to me. I never was tempted, ever, to put a foot wrong. Bizarre, isn't it? Yes. So that's the benefit that you're talking about.
Yes.
But the negative is a sad, slightly scary, depressed man who I wish was alive now, because I could give him that fucking watch. I could give him that house and all that shit that he thought was happiness. But sadly, he pegged it. You couldn't make it up the month I did my first gig. You could not make it up.
Do you think... Well, not do you think. How do you think his style of parenting, or who he was... How did that play a role in you becoming a comedian, out of interest?
Well, like I said, before my daughter was born, I would have said it was trying to get his attention or trying to impress him. But I think a degree of it's inborn. I think there's something genetic. I'm just a silly person, a funny person. I'm upbeat. There is a lot of evidence now looking at DNA about optimism and pessimism, and it's like having a sweet tooth. It's genetically coded. So someone back in my ancestry must just see the bright sides and laugh things off no matter what. That's what I'm like. I do have my moments where I'm like, fuck this, and then the next day I'm like, okay, it's cool, this will happen, that'll happen. Yeah. So I'm just like that, and my daughter is the same.
But you're such a prolific comedian. There's always new material. I'll see you, when we've gigged together, you'll go on, and if there's something happening that week, you'll go out, and it won't just be a reference. There'll be a bit, and it's amazing to watch. But that takes, I think, an incredible amount of, I think, discipline to become like that. And I wondered, I'm just questioning you.
I can't explain it.
Curious. Has that been, in some way, the way that your perhaps dad almost frightened you into behaving? Mm-hmm. Did that if you'll allow me to phrase it like that, has that given you a really good kind of work ethic?
Yes. 100%.
Because it's an incredible work
100%
ethic.
yes to that. My dad works himself to death. He loved saying, I won't make old bones. I will die on the job. I won't make 70. All of it came true. So the work and provide. It's also removed snobbery from me. So when I get asked to do the jungle, which I do on a yearly basis, I'm not...
Who would do that?
Yeah, I'm not saying no out of snobbery. I'm saying no based on what, I can't do that because I've got these gigs and I know one day I probably will do all of that. I'll do all the Strictlys and that. Whereas some people...
Who would do that?
Yeah. No, but some people have got a snobbery, whereas I was raised to, you put a roof over your head, you pay your bills. Our work is no special or different to anyone else's. People treat it like it is, but it is just, I have a tax return. I literally have material. You just can't see it, but it's in a mental white van. And I believe in putting in a full day's graft. So far as this particular quirk of being able to improvise material, which is rare, I'll grant you, and I can improvise material with a middle bit and a punchline, not just based on a funny hat someone's wearing, but based on something Keir Starmer said. I think that's just a weird autistic type thing I've got. That's closer to someone who's weirdly good at maths. You can't say to someone who's really good at adding up, do you think your dad forced you to be good at it? I think it's just something I've always been able to do. I can immediately, beautiful mind, like see the beginning, see the middle, and see the end.
Okay.
Now, the cost that I pay for that is the same cost as any prolific novelist or prolific museum is. People rate the quality list. There's no out, there's no garlic bread. It's just, fucking that camera there, I could probably do 10 minutes on it if you give me 10 minutes to prep.
Yeah.
But that means there's a lot too much quantity, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I think you're being hard on yourself.
What I mean is if I had less fluency, I probably would stumble upon an out because my quality control would be up. If I was only working with 80 minutes a year that I generated.
All right, yeah.
But you're
a phenomenally talented, gifted and successful comedian.
Correct.
So I think the comparison
I'm a type 2. I'm a
to not having an out and a garlic bread is...
I'm a successful type 2 comedian. I've monetized my personality. Type 1 comedian is, give me 2 years and I'll craft the perfect joke and everyone will quote it. And they're writers. They write jokes. They stick to the script when they're on stage. If you watch it in Stoke, it's the fucking same as it is in Newquay. Whereas my show, fuck knows what you're going to get. You come to the Cambridge Cornish show, you're going to love this bit. I might not even fucking perform. Sometimes I don't perform the big end of my current show that brings everything together in a moving theme. I just fuck it off and do something else. It's that chaotic.
Yeah.
So type 2 is what Bradley Walsh gave me this. He called kitchen comics. Is your mate who was in the kitchen, who was funny when you were younger. 90% of them don't do anything with it. I did.
Right. Okay.
Your funny mate, you should do stand-up. I couldn't do that. I'm that cunt, but I did it.
Yeah, but you're an exceptional
funny.
Watch, Russell. I've been in the room of what you can do to a live audience there. It's quite phenomenal, and it's extraordinary. So I don't think I just don't like. You're kind of. It's like you're playing yourself down, and it's not really. It's not true.
No, it's not self-deprecating. It's a different skill.
The
skill.
But you're undermining your ability.
It's a different great skill. I can make that funny, fine. But I'm also good at. I am good at structure and writing a show that the critics like. But that comes.
And didn't you win the Edinburgh Award?
Yeah, I won the Perrier, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But that comes from the second part of my life when I did switch my brain on age 9. So what I did between 19 and 28 fused with this kitchen comic stuff I'm talking about, and that's what's made me very successful.
Okay.
Because what I did between...
It's hybrid.
Yeah. What I did between 19 and 28 taught me how to use structure and language in a powerful way. So if you come and see my full shows, they're extremely deep. The one I'm doing at the moment, I love
stand-up show.
Yeah, I love what Stuart Lee says about me. But the show I do at the moment will make, if you're alive on the inside, will make you tear up or cry. I do.
Is that what he said about you?
No, Stuart Lee does a really funny routine about me. He said, my wife went to see
so like, you know, Russell's wife
did
this thing.
That's it. So one of the Russells did a show that won an award, and my wife went to see it, and she actually came back and said it was so good that I stood up and cried. I cried, and so I thought, well, he's shit then. I love that joke. I love it. I love that joke.
That's the end of part 1 of my chat with Russell Kane. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to hear the rest of that straight away, instantly, just head over to patreon.com/classclown and you will get all of the conversation I had with Russell Kane ad-free. If not, don't worry. Part 2 will be with you next week. Here's a little snippet of it now.
I went down to my tea break that morning and I wrote, oh my fucking God, I've been conned. I have been conned by the accident of my postcode and birth and pushed into the fucking system as a chavvy worker. Whereas if I'd just been given the guidance to do a GC, I'd be sat with those posh twats, drinking cider and getting up at 10 a.m. And I lost my temper, and whatever the opposite of a nervous breakdown is, happened to me that day. It was like someone reached around and went like that. Yeah. I can remember the feeling. They plugged the two things in. I wrote it in my diary. I was in the smoking room at work, so I used to pretend to smoke so I could get an extra 15-minute break. And I wrote it. I went, today is the day I changed my life.
So there you go. Interesting stuff. If you want to hear it now, just tap the link in your description or go to patreon.com/classclown and that will be with you immediately. As I say, if not, don't worry, we'll see you next week. But if you could like and follow and just share, leave a comment on Spotify and on YouTube, that really does help us. I've been Seann Walsh, as you know, coming to you from my living room, as you can see. And I'll see you next week. Cheers to that. Bye.